I have heard this question over and over again. How do I get good at drawing? And I always hear the same answer: practice. Practice, 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 practice. Okay, there's a problem with this. This is good advice, but it's incomplete. The reason artists use this answer is because it's a short answer to a really deep question. The problem is everyone starts differently because every artist learns differently. What works for one artist won't necessarily work for another. Every artist really has to walk their own path. Often by the time an artist becomes truly qualified to answer this question, they've already forgotten how they started. So how do you go from not being able to draw at all to being a pro artist? There are the obvious extended answers that everyone gives. Things like learn anatomy, lighting, composition, color, value, perspective, foreshortening, which is all great advice, and you should absolutely study hard on every one of those subjects. But I'm not going to talk about those here. Instead, I'm going to talk about the things that artists won't tell you. I think a solid question here is, how do I practice? Now, not all practice is equal, and some practice will get you there quickly and some will take much longer. If you sit and draw circles all day, you'll get pretty good at drawing circles, but you won't know where to start with drawing a person, or a sunrise, or a forest. So what practice is good practice? Well, first you have to decide what you want to learn. Take every problem and break it down into manageable chunks. All artists have to get good at deconstructing what they see in the world into learnable steps. You've probably seen other artists take a head and break it down into an egg shape with a cross shape on it. That idea of simplifying a complicated thing into primitive shapes applies to everything. Take a look at how other artists tackle the same problem. Deconstruct it. As you look at their work, try to imagine you're drawing it. Trace it in your mind. Make the motions with your hand. How do their lines look when they draw a specific thing? Watch some artists draw and try to deconstruct their process. This next one is something artists won't tell you, probably because they don't realize they're doing it. Be passionate. That sounds obvious, but let me explain. Learning how to draw well comes from thinking about it all the time. It comes from being obsessed with learning it. This is the secret to practice. This is why all artists tell you to do it. Constant practice keeps your mind focused on art. My biggest art epiphany moments don't come from sitting down and drawing. They come from watching someone's face as they talk. They come from looking at a ditch next to the road as I drive in my car. They come from looking at shadows dancing away from the candle on my desk. They come from mundane things in real life. Being passionate means studying the world around you all the time. Which brings me to my next point. Use reference. Now, I'm going to say something here that will probably make a lot of you roll your eyes and sigh heavily at me, but bear with me for a second. Draw from life. I have a ton of thoughts to say on this, but for now I'll just say that it helps you understand how things are constructed and how they fit into 3D space. There's a ton you can learn from studying what you see every day. Something that helps me get the most out of my art practice is every time I finish a piece, I go back and take a look at it and decide what worked and make a mental list of things that I don't like about it. I go and take a look at references or other artists I admire, maybe research the thing a bit, and the next drawing I do, I focus hard on getting those specific elements right. Look, I'm not going to lie to you, art is hard, like really hard, and it takes a long time to get good at it, but any skill worth learning is hard. It's deeply gratifying to take all of the beautiful things in your head and pour them out of a pen. My last point is probably the most important of all. Keep going. There will be times when you feel like you're not making any progress or your art isn't getting the reception you want. There will be times when you wonder to yourself, why am I even doing this? These are things that even the most prolific artists feel. Don't get discouraged. You're never finished with developing as an artist, so you can't fail at it. You just keep going and get better. Hey guys, thanks for watching this. I hope this helps in some way. Everybody's got their own way of learning this stuff, and in the end, you just got to do what's right for you. I'll see you next time.